Hey, welcome to Engineer's Workshop. I've got a pretty short video for you today. Not a lot happened in the shop, certainly not much machining, but I wanted to show you, I got a couple of these paint cabinets. They were going to be thrown away from a shop that did some work for us, and I said, yes, I will take those off your hands. They got double walls, so it's somewhat insulated, but makes good container for tooling and things that you want to keep from rusting. So let me show you what I did inside of this. Let's see what we have for temperature. Ambient 41 degrees. At 48. 52, 57, 62, 67, 51 over there. So it's really hottest right at the bottom, and then it gradually gets a little bit cooler as you go up. I thought the hottest part would be at the top, but I guess there's enough loss in trying to get around these shelves that it really kind of traps the heat where the heat source is. That's 240 watt bulbs, so 80 watts total, keeping this cabinet above ambient. Let me show you what all I have in here. On the left are two freshly machined jugs. These are from a Wisconsin 4-cylinder engine. Actually started out as a 4-cylinder engine, but this is used in a SRAM Pneumapower air compressor. And what SRAM did was they took the engine, and you notice this one has all 4 valves. These 2 cylinders will drive it, and then these 2 cylinders were converted to be an air compressor. So I believe the valves that are in place are the exhaust valves, but the heads that go on this jug, or the one head, has intake valves built into it, and these are slightly smaller bore than this, but both of these have been freshly machined. The rest of that engine has to go back together. On the right we have a Westinghouse 3YC 1949 Westinghouse air brake air compressor, and that's a V-twin, and there's the low pressure and high pressure jugs for that. Those are also freshly machined. Then I have original piston, this was the original piston set, and this is a new piston set that I got off eBay. Original rods, new rods, spare oil pump. The crank from the original compressor is there. Has a serious crack in the nose under the flywheel. It's going to take a significant amount of re-engineering to make it serviceable again. And then the back cover with the unloader valve that is driven by the oil pump, and this is painted with Gliptol inside. Going back down here, I have my Cadillac play check gauge. It's a 12-inch, 0 to 12-inch height standard. I've got 2 6-inch risers, so I can go up to 24 inches with that. I have my set of balancers. I'm trying to remember the name of these. I'll put the name in the comments. I can't remember. Brian Block has the same set, although I think his are taller. Work head for the Cincinnati number 2 tool and cutter grinder. Have my Master Precision square. In the back I got the Yuasa radius dresser. I put my 2 chucks with the interchangeable back plate there. Surface plate, Monarch gears, more Monarch gears. Let me show you this one. This is a new tool I got not too long ago. It's a Lufkin 900 planer gauge. I didn't have a planer gauge. This one was previously owned by Chuck Ruby. We've got one stand and a couple of, these look more like scribe points for the old height standard I got, and a couple more auxiliary clamps, but it's in pretty nice condition, so appreciate having one of those. Maybe I'll continue hunting for a more complete set. I did have an opportunity to finish cleaning up the steel chunk that was my granddad's, so I got all the outer surfaces cleaned up. Both faces are now parallel. So let me show you how that came out on the lathe, and I'll show you the finished item. So here's my finished piece of 1045. I did as good a job as I could of blending the original cut with the cleanup cut on there. Just took a little bit of a 45, like a 60 thousandths 45 chamfer on both edges and faced everything so it's parallel on both sides. Coated it with some CRC SP350. I'm going to go through a lot of this stuff. I got my Mitutoyo height stand here that I coated with it. So try to keep the rust off of the surfaces of items in the shop here. Well, I didn't promise you much, so I hope I over-delivered to a small extent in just keeping a little bit of work going here in the shop. I'm happy to have this in place. I've got one more. I might just stack it in line with this one and continue to put tooling and gauge equipment and stuff like that so that the ambient temperature of those items can stay above the dew point and keep things from rusting. I'm trying to clear out the small barn, make room for more of my son's tools. He's got all his stuff over there now. So we're doing our best with the amount of space we have. Of course, we got a lot of space here, wide open. Working on getting that end wall enclosed. I'm still waiting on my parts from Send Cut Send. I've got versions of these coming. These were originally designed for a 2x6 to hold a 2x6 and use that as the screed for the slab. I'm going to go down to a 2x4 to save costs, so I shortened this, and I've got a set of 10 of these coming. I think they were just maybe a little under $5 a piece. I've got to bend them and then show you next time how we plan on anchoring that perimeter board around the slab and use it to fasten the panels in place, and then later act as the height gauge for how much more concrete is going to be poured on top of this slab. So hope you enjoyed this short video from Engineer's Workshop here. Hopefully be back with you next week with a little bit more in-depth content. So until then, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, stay safe.